Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something maybe a bit unexpected. How Charlie Sheen, the actor, sort of became this accidental advocate for understanding viruses and public health. So, our mission here is to pull out the really fascinating bits from the sources we've looked at. We want to get you well informed, fast, about viruses, HIV, and, well, how powerful personal stories can be. Okay, let's unpack this, right? So, let's start with the basics. Viruses, we mostly think of them as these tiny, tiny infectious things, right? They need a living host cell to make copies of themselves. The analogy used is like a burglar needing to break into a house or a cell to reproduce. They kind of hijack the whole system. But, and this is interesting from our sources, not all viruses bad news, are they?
Exactly. That's what's fascinating. Some viruses actually do beneficial things, like they help control bacteria populations in the oceans. Super important for the whole ecosystem. And knowing that, this broader picture makes the Charlie Sheen story, connecting it to the human side, even more compelling. How someone so public can bring these often misunderstood things into our everyday conversations.
Yeah, and his journey was, well, quite something. Our sources really detail that moment in 2011 when he publicly announced he was HIV positive. It just completely changed the public story around him, didn't it? From just a troubled star to someone actually speaking out about health transparency. It really humanized it all.
Which brings up a really important question for a lot of people. What does having HIV actually mean today? So HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus, it attacks the immune system. But the treatments we have now, especially antiretroviral therapy or RT, they're incredible. People can get what's called an undetectable viral load. And that's not just medical jargon. It means the virus level is so low, so suppressed, it literally cannot be passed on sexually. That's the whole UEU thing. Undetectable equals untransmittable. And this just completely blows up that old, outdated, frankly terrifying myth that HIV is always a death sentence or that you can get it from, just casual contact. That fear was huge for so long.
Mm-hmm. And when Sheen announced it, you saw social media just light up. Twitter, Instagram. It really highlighted that gap, between the science like you and what people generally understood or feared. And yeah, while you had things like hashtag HIV awareness creating supportive communities, which is great, the sources also point out how, well, the sensationalism around his life sometimes kind of drowned out the important health messages. It was a double-edged sword. His specific kind of fame definitely amplified both sides of that.
Absolutely. And it really underlines the sheer power of personal stories in medicine. Sheen's story, yeah, he faced backlash, scrutiny, all of that, but it put a human face on the condition. His interviews, being so candid, they sparked conversations, open dialogue, and crucially, they likely prompted others to go get information, maybe get tested, seek treatment. If we step back and look at the bigger picture, stories like that, they can actually push for policy changes. They shift how the public sees things, way beyond just one person's experience, real ripple effects.
So when you boil it all down, what does this mean for you listening? I think Sheen's journey, kind of inadvertently, reminds us that health is universal. It touches everyone. And it shows how important maybe being vulnerable, sharing our stuff can be. The power of advocacy, even when it's not planned.
Yeah, it really does make you think, doesn't it? How each of us can maybe play a part in breaking down stigma, fostering a bit more understanding in our own circles, Every conversation, every little bit of empathy, it really does add up.
So here's something to chew on as we wrap up. How can we, just as individuals, help dismantle the stigma that still clings to viral infections? Every voice really does matter. Each story someone shares has that potential to teach someone, maybe empower someone else. Okay. What stories will you share? And how might they actually change things?